Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Looking at Twitter, GoPro X, and CHK on the daily and the weekly time frame. So Twitter's still in control of the bulls, even though we did break that low or the higher low pattern, and we did pull back a bit more. Just comparatively where we're coming from, the weekly chart is still a bull flag. The bulls are buying the dip. Whenever I see a bull flag pattern, I always want to see lower wick showing bulls buying the dip each week. And we are still holding those exponential moving average supports. And now it's time for the bulls to show up this coming week, break the high of 1852, and look to head back up towards this 1979 top that we saw. On the daily time frame, if we break our recent low of 1783, that will mean the bulls are not ready yet. The bears are still in control of consolidation with the 200-day moving average of 1759 as that target. So bulls need to see some follow through from this day we saw Friday and ideally get back over this middle Bollinger Band on the daily, which is going to be up right below 1850. GoPro on the daily time frame has to form this higher low. We pulled back very significantly from that breakout to 918 after getting rejected hard from the 100-day and the upper Bollinger Band. Pulled back 4 days from there. A little bit of a lower wick Friday showing bulls buying the dip. Maybe that's the higher low. 821 support. That was at 832. Bulls really want that to be the higher low. And because of the weakness that we have seen on this pullback, I would anticipate a bounce and a lower high to form and a tightening range to continue forming here as GoPro gets ready for a clear break sometime in the next 2 weeks, I would say. In the weekly time frame, as we know, the bulls don't have any momentum if we cannot get this middle Bollinger Band as support. That's at 883 resistance. We've rejected from this level time and time again the past few weeks, and we're looking down at, there's that 821 support, 812 and 805, three very key support levels that are still holding, but very clearly the bulls are taking profit whenever we get to that weekly middle Bollinger Band. X-Bears back in control. We saw a short-term bounce. It was about 15% off the low, and now we have to form a higher low, ideally compared to 1920. We did not see any lower wick on Friday, showing the bulls were nowhere to be found, and that 1920 level is the little higher low we formed here on the oversold bounce. If we lose 1920, it's back down to 1855 as the only short-term support that we're looking at. So the bulls really want to hold 1920 on Tuesday. The weekly time frame, no follow-through for the bulls. Rejection from exponential resistance, just barely holding the 100-week support, but no strength, no nothing. And really, we have to see the bulls hold that 1920 level or the bears are going to take back over. CHK on the daily time frame, bullish reversal hammer, and it's an inside candlestick. If we break 530 on Tuesday, we'll look for a bit more follow-through to the upside. But because of the volume and the magnitude of this down move and breaking this little higher low, we are going to look for lower highs and lower lows to form, and we're going to look to head back down towards that $5 support level. So I would look for a bearish entry on a bounce to the middle Bollinger Band resistance if we get up to 550. And the weekly time frame, fitting within this descending triangle pattern, would bounce just around this $5 level again and then make another attempt at the 100-week moving average resistance, which is going to be down in the 580s this coming week. So a tightening pattern on the weekly. We're about within a month away from a clear break of this longer-term pattern, in my opinion, and that will give us a nice direction to be looking at for the short-term, but short-term in terms of about a couple weeks. So definitely want to be watching this move for a potential setup for a swing play and watching to see if we are going to set a lower high after a bounce attempt following 4 big red days in a row. So I appreciate you watching. We'll see how Tuesday kicks off the week. See you soon.